Okay, everybody. So, welcome to our webinar on all things travel, staying healthy, and prepping for your trip. I'm so excited about this. This is my first ever interview for our oil usage community. And I want to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker. Her name is Heather Christopher. She has over 10 years of experience in the travel industry. I'm going to toot her horn a little bit. She's actually made the Travel Agents Magazine's list of top 30 under 30. She's been selected as one of the top 150 advisors by Global Travel Marketplace, and she was named a luxury travel advisor trendsetter, which is so awesome. I'm so excited to have her here sharing her value with our group. So Heather's going to start by telling us why she got into the industry and what areas she focused on in travel, like if there's certain countries that she has more emphasis on, and also share with us her favorite part of being a travel advisor. So I will turn it over to Heather.
Thanks, Natalie. I'm so pumped that we finally made this happen after knowing each other on Instagram or via Instagram for a year. But it's kind of funny that it's all come full circle. But got into the industry, I'll try to give the quickest possible story here. Got into the industry when I was 19. I guess this is kind of part of the story because this is how you and I also connected. We found out that we both unfortunately lost a parent to cancer, and both at a very young age. I think we were both about the same age. And so in my situation, my dad and I were always the catalyst behind planning our vacation, and we used a travel agent. Can still picture like going in and seeing her. And when he was about a month before he passed away, I actually literally had a dream one night. It was March of 2005. And I just had this dream that like I had to be in the travel industry. I would never travel again. It was clearly a deep-seated fear. And I woke up the next morning, sat up in bed and was like, okay, the course of life just changed. And I got out of bed. I still have very solid memories of it. Started doing some research about where I could go to school to become a travel agent. Like, what did that even look like? And found a business school local to me. Like, got rid of the school I was going to, declined that offer. And next thing I knew, I was enrolled in a travel and tourism associate's degree. Speed time up. Ended up not completing that degree, I'll be very honest. Went through a different program, but I got married shortly thereafter because my husband was in the Marine Corps at the time, and fortunately got a job right away at a travel agency that had a storefront, and I worked there for 10 years before going out on my own in 2016. Yes, so it's just been over 3 years that I've had Heather Christopher Travel. And as far as my favorite part, I think my favorite part is just, it's like twofold. It's when somebody says like, just something totally blew them out of the water. They didn't expect this. And it can be small things like we didn't expect the view from our room. I'm a hotel freak. So that, I love that. But it's deeper than that. It's like the guy that you set us up with was just amazing, and we met his family, and he took us to his favorite bakery, and we got to try this, and it was just so much more than we were intending. And I think that the most important thing about travel is that it creates empathy. Just like your community, we're connecting to other people, we're learning about other perspectives and other, I go as far to say cultures, but what I mean, like you're learning other people, you're learning that you're just creating. I think that's what travel does, and that's really, really important to me. So that's my favorite part. It's just, growing somebody's world. Mm-hmm. And as far as places that I pick, our tagline is that we plan seamless vacations for time-starved couples and families. And we focus mostly on Europe, Africa, South Pacific, domestic US, or I should just say North America, actually, with Hawaii and Europe being our top sellers, for lack of a better word. So, but I'm happy to be here and share some tips and tricks. This was a good little reminder for me. And I'm looking forward to learning from you as far as where I can switch safer products into some more natural products for the things that I'm already doing. So this will be a good education for everyone, I'm sure.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing. It's I know I've heard the stories before, but it's always fun to hear how you got into it. It pulls at your heartstrings a little bit, or it does mine. All right, so next we want to jump into discussing ways to prep for your vacation and trip so that you can stay healthy during and so that you can make it as stress-free as possible, because vacation, in my opinion, is kind of part of self-care. It's something that we all need. I feel like, especially in the United States, where we don't take enough vacation, I don't think. I feel like everybody is always stressed and they don't take enough time off. And then I know for me personally in corporate America, anytime I take a week off, I feel like it takes, I guess in every job, it takes you like a week to kind of get back on track. So we want to make your trip as stress-free as possible. We don't want you to come home feeling unwell or sick or worn out. So I have found, for me also, I'll say that in my 30s, I personally don't bounce back, or after traveling overseas or flying, I don't bounce back as well as I did in my 20s. So I started adding in more of these, healthy tips, I guess you could say, about a year ago. Once I noticed that I wasn't, I would fly overseas and it took me a day and a half to feel like a real person. So I just wanted to add value and give you some tips to help your next trip be a little more successful, a little more stress-free, and to keep you healthy during the whole time. So I'll turn it over to She's going to kind of, drip some information, and I'll add some essential oil knowledge to it as we go. So I'm going to jump on.
So I think first things first, I think we both do this, that we've discovered. We both do some sort of immune boosters. Mm-hmm. And I start those, I think, anywhere between 5 to 7 days. Like I usually do a slow trickle and then like amp it up depending on what it is that I'm taking or whatever, where I'm traveling to also goes into that, in the sense of like, am I going from an extreme climate change? Then I probably need to bump up the immune support more. Am I going to be at a conference where I'm taking 5,000 hands versus like hunking down with my family? It just kind of depends. But immune boosters, and I also, I do take a zinc or two. Just to note that if you've never taken zinc before, you need to do it with food, and don't take them 2 days in a row. It can be rough, but I swear they work. So
that is so fascinating.
Yeah, you do the same thing or similar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I actually made a note about the zinc after I saw you posting about that, because I had never heard about the zinc. So that is very interesting. I'm very excited to add something new to my routine. So what I do, definitely immune booster. I have started doing it like Heather said, a week before going on the trip. What I do is I have a roller, a pre-made roller with On Guard. It's our immune supporting blend. It has essential oils in it that are high in antioxidants, high in immune support. What I'll do is I'll take it and I will wipe it down my back and on the bottoms of my feet 2 to 3 times a day for the week leading up. And I continue this routine while traveling as well. Something else that I do, we actually have the On Guard complex in a soft gel, which makes it easy for oral consumption, just a handy little soft gel. And I will take 2 of those a day, weekly, and then during the trip. And, I'm always grateful that I do this routine when I get on the plane, and it seems like within 5 minutes of sitting down, I'm hearing sniffling. I'm hearing coughing and sneezing. My husband's shooting me kind of like that guy cover his mouth look, I mean, every flight, it's like, and something I have is, and I know you have this on your list too, hand sanitizer is a must when you travel. I use On Guard. It kind of has like a nice apple smell to it along with On Guard, but I'm one of those people, I don't know if Heather's going to say this is weird or not. I will spray down the airplane, the tray that comes down, wipe it down so that I'm kind of in my sanitized zone. And I also will spray down the armrest, like anything, that I put my hands on. Because, you're rubbing your eyes. So yes.
Also the window. Kids especially, like, I don't know if I'm assuming all kids are like this. You put them at a window and they're like, so I just, yeah, mouth, everything.
Yeah.
like a spraying clean, or well, I obviously have to clean up here, but I use antiseptic wipes, and I'm just like, whatever is sitting on us, near us, we're touching it, it's getting cleaned. Because planes are dirty. They are, just like the cleaning, they are dirty.
Yeah.
For sure. I was thinking about this earlier when you were kind of prepping. We're both big on hydration. I think the biggest thing I see, and actually, like, I see it right in front of my eyes especially when I'm at conferences, or I do a lot of trips that are not with my family, that are with, colleagues, as we're, sightseeing, doing site inspections, and people will be like, "Oh, I'm so tired, I'm so thirsty," and I'm like, "You're not doing, like, do you drink a ton of water at home?" Well, yeah, and then they're in Europe, or they're in some other place that I will say that I personally find it harder. Like, Europeans have not totally caught on to the water bottle movement. I would say in cities, yes, but like once you hit any type of rural area, or South America too, they're just not there yet. Like, they are in the sense of conservation. And then there's about Europe is a lot like Rome. You can drink out of the water fountains, like literally the very historical thousands of year old water fountains. You can still drink out of those.
Wow.
But I feel like you just don't see it like Americans. We got, like, this thing goes everywhere. So I think we just kind of, we're twiddling around, and we stop drinking that water. So I will admittedly pay whatever I have to, even if the hotel water is $12. I'm like, whatever. I just deal, because it's so important to me I'm like, if I'm not hydrating, then everything's off. I also thought maybe, like, especially, are there oils that I could take with me that I could be dropping into the water that would be helpful in that sense, like whether it's for digestion or just, keeping myself like more awake, fighting jet lag when it's like day one and I'm dying on the ground. So.
That's me usually. There are. So what I always recommend people do is stainless steel bottles. You want to use stainless steel or glass if you're going to add essential oils to your water. You don't want to have plastic, because a lot of the oils are really good at purifying surfaces of chemicals like plastic, so they might leach the plastic into the water. So stainless steel or glass. I know stainless steel tends to be easier to travel with than glass, so that's kind of my go-to. I use like King Canteens, for example, or the Swell water bottles. So you could add peppermint. It's a great one to add. You really, when you want to have a tall glass of water when you're doing this, and you really only need like a drop of peppermint. It's pretty potent. But peppermint's great for promoting alertness, kind of waking you up in the morning, that type thing. And also it adds a little bit of flavor, to kind of encourage you to drink. Some people don't like the taste of water, especially in stainless steel. Another idea would be lemon. Lemon, just a drop of lemon or another citrus oil is great for boosting the energy. It's a natural immune support, and both peppermint or citrus oils, they're good for digestion as well, kind of like an easy digestive support. So you kind of hit several things, several areas of focus.
Yeah, covering all your bases.
Yes,
I was thinking that earlier. I was like, I should do that. I should drop them in, because I wonder too. It could be a good experiment on like our next travels, or maybe somebody in your group can try it out for us. So, admittedly, like, I will tell clients this too, especially if they're not well traveled and they have weak stomachs, to chew a Pepto before they even go eat. It just like coats the stomach. So I a good switch out for that, like if somebody would drink lemon or peppermint or something like that, and it would do the same thing, just helped protect the stomach a bit, until it gets to the new food, the new bacteria, the new water. It's like it's being rinsed in terms of veggies and everything like that, or it's being cooked in. That's a really common thing I will hear, specifically in honestly at all-inclusives. I'm pretty picky about all-inclusives. Natalie, I know you know this, that I'm picky in general when it comes to hotels, but there's a reason I'm picky. It's because after so many years of somebody's like constantly getting sick at a certain place or in a certain chain or something, I'm like, well, what the heck am I doing? I'm not promoting this.
Right.
I want to have a good time and stay healthy, and nobody wants to be in the bathroom during vacation in a negative way. So I find that it tends to happen more at all. I also think because people are like, mimosa in the morning. oh, breakfast buffet. Oh, now lunch buffet. Drink. You know, alcoholic drink. I mean, and then dinner, drink, and we're just in totally, you know, our stomach's going to be stressed. So, what can you do to help prevent that? When, you know, be on top of that. I think that'd be a good experiment to like test out the peppermint, see if it, you know, does the same thing. But
I'd recommend that. Yeah, so that hits on something that I've struggled with, especially going to, actually, really I've noticed it in the U.S. too, because when you're traveling, you're not eating the normal stuff. I think like we're creatures of habit, so we probably eat a lot of the same stuff, cook with some of the same oils, that type thing. So my stomach gets really messed up anytime I travel. So that's a good tip. Another thing is there's the digestive blend that we have that's really good for pretty much all digestive. It comes in a little roller, already pre-made. So you need to take the guesswork out. It's safe for kids and adults. If you get the touch version from doTERRA, already made, you don't think about it. That's what I like to call the easy button for moms. But you can roll this on your stomach. You can also get digestive, it's digestion soft gels, kind of like the On Guard where it's already the oral thing. So for people who, I know not everybody likes to rub oils on their stomach, the digestive blend does have fennel in it, so it's got an interesting smell. You can just take the soft gel instead. So easy. But that is like the top one on my list of things that I always pack is digestive support, just because you know you don't know what you're going to come in contact with. Plus, if you're eating from buffets, you've got kids or people might hovering over it ahead of you. The germaphobe, the radars are going off.
I always like, I don't mean to make it sound mean, but it's just true. Like, people are always just, everybody's in their bubble and they assume that like all is good and they're being naive. And I'm like, nope, everybody's dirt. Gotta assume the worst.
Yep. So. You can't control who came before you. Yeah. So yeah, digestive is huge. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Well, especially because I know, in terms of my clients, food is a huge part of travel. It's either, it can be literally why we're traveling. I planned a trip one time, a honeymoon. It was really fun, but they literally wanted to hit every Michelin star restaurant in Portugal. So we planned an entire, that's a ton of eating. Like that was literally the focus of this entire itinerary. So I know that people want to go and try, I look forward to the gelato in Italy, eating it every single day, every time I go, because there's just good, and I'm not eating it here back at home. But I don't realize, what I find is like, especially when we're not well traveled, we only do 1 or 2 vacations a year and maybe a business trip in there. And then we mostly eat our meals at home, that it is such a shock to the body when they're like, hey, wait, we don't rinse our water or like our veggies in the same water and our fruits in the same water or whatever little things like that. Like it really does add up, and you just have to know your body and say, is this going to be good or bad? I wanted to ask, is the I'm going to say it wrong. What's it called?
Digestion. Digestion. You can just say digestive blend. It sounds so familiar to digestive that I twist it all the time too.
And I was like, wait, this is tripping me up. I remember a story. You had helped, we have a mutual friend, Katie, and you had given her, was it those soft gels that she, like, for heartburn?
Yes.
Okay, I'll never forget her being like, she literally texted me, she got off a plane, because some of us, we don't sleep well on an overnight flight. You kind of feel icky, your blood sugar's not right, you're just, exhaustion is affecting you. And she had gotten off that flight and texted me, was like, I took one of those pills Natalie gave me, and oh my gosh, like I felt better in 5 minutes. So
it's
I think that's
super
awesome.
Fast. Yeah. It's one of those, you're not going to use it every day, thank goodness. But you'll be so happy you have it when you need it.
I should buy them and like just put a packet of 4 per couple, like 4 per couple, and all my travel bags. That'd be a solid. All right. I like these ideas.
Yep.
What else do we have on our list here? I can't even.
Let's see. Should we talk about sleep and anxious feelings, travel?
Yes. we should talk about it. I feel the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to jump into sleep first, and I'll let you interject if you have anything. But stay consistent sleep schedule as much as possible is so important, so that way you have enough energy to kind of get through your day. That is something that I struggle with, especially if I change time zones. Maybe you'll have some tips for me. Like even just going 2-hour difference, I just struggle with getting on the schedule. So I actually pack. You can get tiny diffusers. doTERRA has them at special times. They don't have them all the time, but there are some at Oil Life. You can find them on Amazon, but you're looking for like the small diffusers that are easy to pack, very compact, not going to take a lot of room. And then I will put little sample sizes of my favorite sleep oils. Like I love lavender and frankincense, for example. I'll put them inside, kind of wrapped with tissue or bubble wrap inside the diffuser, so I'm saving on space. And those are my sleep oils. I'll take them out in the hotel. I'll have little drams right next to it. It's super easy to use. So that is probably one of my great tips for sleeping. I know some people, I need to start doing is bringing an eye mask with me to kind of block out the light. I don't know if that's a tip that you often share with your travelers. I need to get one because I think it will help, because the hotel room might not be set up to the what you're used to. You might have window light creeping in. So that's my tip on sleep. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Just gonna add, I don't think I'm actually a good example of any of it. I just like survive. That's basically, I don't know if you're, I struggle. Actually, I'm pretty sure we've discussed this. Obviously not publicly, but that I really struggle to sleep in a hotel. And remember you were telling me the story of the ghost?
Oh yes, in Charleston.
Mm-hmm. So I just, and especially if I'm alone, my colleagues kind of like joke, we laugh about this because I'm like the weirdo in mind sharing a room with anybody because I hate sleep. I'm like, there's nobody in here. It's quiet. Like, and I'm used to my kids being down the hall and being mama. I don't know if you can hear that. But there is an app I was just looking up. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I was looking. Okay. It's called Time Shifter. Right. And I started seeing other colleagues use it. It does cost, but essentially it's it's a tool that takes like calculations based on age, gender, and then where you're going, where you're coming from, and it'll to like, here's what time you should go to bed. It's starting like a week prior. Here's what time you should go to bed. You get up. Here's how much caffeine you should consume, so that by the time you get off the plane in whatever your destination is, you're already ready to go. And one of my friend Ashley, who I traveled with to London in March, she had done it, and she was as I was drinking like latte number 4 on like I'm dying. Like this is so. There are other apps. When I Googled it, there are clearly apps out there that exist. There might be some free ones that help train you, to teach you to like, this is the time you should go to bed to prepare for that kind of jet lag. But I think it's really important for people who are doing really long trips and are going to potentially, like all people go from London the whole way over to Eastern Europe, and there's 3-hour time difference in there. So anything like that's good.
Oh, I love that. Speaking of apps, you made me think white noise apps. That's something that I have to have. People don't know that are out there, or if you can't sleep in silence, I can't anymore. I used to be able to, but now everybody else has noise in my house. So there are so many different apps out there for that. Kind of helps to block out. Or to New Orleans for the first time last year. We were off of Urban Street, I think, or whatever the main street is. There's a party all the time, so had to crank it up to the highest volume, the noise app, just to block it out.
There's a plug for a good travel advisor. That's the things that we know versus, Google. So,
right. Yeah, don't get a hotel on Urban Street.
Yeah, like, it is loud. But it's funny how like those things change. And I also think this is a good point. This is not really a plug for myself, but for advisors as a whole here, like something that we realized dealing with travelers all the time and traveling so much ourselves on a more of on a vacation level versus like I'm just going for business level, is that, you know, people come to us and say, well, the hotel doesn't really matter, we're just going to be sleeping there. And it's like hold your horses. It actually does matter because your sleep is essential. Changing, you know, time zones, that's fine on a road trip and you want to hit the Hampton Inn because you're, you know, headed to Disney and you need to stop in Cary, North Carolina, right where the interchange is or something. I totally get that. Right. But I think when we're traveling like that and we're going to be running all day long and you're like out 8-10 hour days, 10 miles on your feet, like that's like making, you know, sharing with your travel advisor what is essential to your sleep. I like a modern room. I found out the hard way that I can't sleep with antiques. It's not going to happen. I'm never going to sleep. But so like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I have to sleep in very modern rooms. It's the only way I can sleep. And it's little things like that, like thinking about your own home situation and being like, what makes me sleep best? And, you know, that's something that we'd be here to help with and make sure we're getting you to the right hotel. So
that's true. Yeah, it is. There's such a difference between a musty air-conditioned hotel room that's kind of working off and on and one that's like looks clean when you go in. I've been in so many different types. Yeah. And it makes a difference to how you sleep. I'll be honest, there was a hotel room I stayed in at one point. I did not pick it to where I was concerned about bugs crawling on my face at night so I didn't sleep. I mean, you know, it's just the hotel.
Well, like,
100% agree.
Yeah, like I want to feel clean when I get out of the shower, not like, oh, that was like not good, you know.
Right, not like afraid to touch the walls or where you step. So important. And one more tip for sleeping, I'll say. So I've told Heather, I'm one of the people that likes to go on a ghost tour anywhere I go. This
is where Nat and I are not friends.
It's like just be aware that you might not sleep the night like I did. I'll tell a real funny story that we can get back to it. I was in Charleston and I went on a ghost tour that talked about the hotel I was staying in, the what's it called? The same floor that I was on, someone had, you know, done something. And he said that this person lurks the halls, so I did not sleep that entire night looking for shadows on walls. So just a tip from a non-pro here. Be a careful with the ghost stories, especially if they involve your hotel. So nervous travelers, I know you have had a lot of, you get a lot of questions about this, and I do too, actually, or, you know, people before they go on trips talking about stress, you know, so much of the ride is kind of out of our control. Some people get stressed when driving over bridges of water. So I'll give kind of my tips, and then if you have anything to add in. I have a couple different things. So I like to combine calming oils and grounding oils, because calming oils like lavender and chamomile are very soothing. They're very calming, obviously, given the name. And then I also have the grounding oils, which is like frankincense and oils that are more focused on calming the mind. Frankincense is an oil that can pass through the blood-brain barrier, so it can have a lot of impact on what's going on upstairs. So doTERRA actually has a calming blend known as Serenity and a grounding blend known as Balance. So what I personally do, because I struggle with this as well, is I'll roll those on my pulse points, so on my wrist, kind of rub it together. Behind my ears is another good place. Some people like to do it on their feet. The feet's a great way to place oils because you have some of your largest pores down there, and plus, it's, you know, have you ever seen like the foot reflexology chart? There's a lot of I think there's a lot of truth to that and kind of, you know, what points you're hitting down there. So that is something I'll do. There's also soft gels. There's a calming soft gel by doTERRA that has oils in it that are great for promoting sleep while you're on the road. So in addition to diffusing the oils, I might actually pop a soft gel as well. But it also, like, if you're the type that almost gets panicked when you're traveling, I would, you know, do the oils on the pulse points, but I think you might, if you need something extra, I would do the soft gels on top of it. So what I usually suggest people do is one soft gel of the calming oil blend that I just mentioned, Serenity, and then also a soft gel of copaiba. Copaiba is sort of similar to CBD oil, but it hits different receptors in the body, just to kind of sum that up. But that's usually what I suggest people do for anxious feelings on the plane or driving over. Well, some people just get anxiety about driving in general. So
It's true. I was going to
Not
say,
if you're,
everywhere,
yeah.
right? Like, it's,
Right.
it surrounds always.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and I don't know if you, I guess deep breathing, if you're one to meditating I find can be very calming. If you have a chance to do it before the plane takes off, just put some earbuds in with a guided meditation, just a non-oil tip there.
Well, and I think every long haul flight I've been on last year that's been on like one of the slightly newer, well, not even a newer plane, but just had updated entertainment. They almost all of them now have a meditation channel.
Oh, nice.
Which is actually, and I remember that distinctly because when I flew over to London in March, I remember looking at it to sleep. And I didn't sleep long, but it did put me to sleep. So, which is, nice that they do that now. But I don't think any of my tips are different other than like, I'm a visual person. So this is like makes me laugh because I am the most practical, rational. So like any woo, I call it woo. Like any woo is very limited in my life. But I do have to visualize myself. And Natalie and you and I were sharing this earlier, like we both suffer from anxiety when we travel. Like I'm still an anxious traveler no matter the fact that I have to do it and I do it all the time. It's just like I also, oddly enough, like this is me being very vulnerable, but like going to new destinations still like terrifies me a little, even though I know who's going to be on the other end, especially in my case. Like I'm fortunate to really know who's on the other end, but it's still like, this is new. This is out of my everyday, working mom life world. And I have to visualize myself like I know that I'll be fine once I'm there because I always am. Like I'm totally cool. As soon as my feet hit the ground, I'm good to go. I'm like, oh, we're here. Yep, I'm fine. And nothing happened. So I have to have that in my head. Like, Heather, this is temporary. This will be over very soon. And then you'll be fine and you'll be having a great time, which is literally 100% of the case. But, I do know that everybody suffers from it. I do take a magnesium supplement, like have you seen that? Like called Natural.
That's good.
Yeah. I do it hot water. I guess you can do it cold water. And that does like just help me help clear my mind, I think is the best way to say it. I feel like my mind's not racing as quickly again. I'm a little bit calmer. So I think, really, I think most of it for all of us is that it's truly a mental game of like beating our busy minds. So
that's true. All the what ifs.
Yeah. I was like, and if especially when I just had a client the other week who had felt like she had so many questions that she felt very like nervous and unprepared. And, in the travel advisor, I was like, all right, let's walk through it. Like, that's what I'm here for. If you're feeling, I'm giving you all this information. You either move time to read it, but I will sit there and go through piece by piece and, reassure you that this is what's going to happen on the ground once you arrive, et cetera, et cetera. That's, really my job is to make you feel like we've got this. It's really going to be okay. And if it's not, I'm here to help to make it be okay.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to jump in and offer something that I have for kind of improving circulation. I don't know if you get those complaints from people, especially when being on planes, kind of aches and pains. You're kind of like scrunched up, there's not a lot of room on airplane. Something that I found provides a lot of success is using like a soothing blend, like Deep Blue Rub is what doTERRA has. It comes in a lotion or oil blend, and just kind of rubbing it on your legs before the flight to kind of help with circulation. And then, after the flight, I'll need it on my shoulders because I always feel like
That's a great idea.
Whole. So that's a good one. And then also remembering to support your respiratory support. So like breathe drops, doTERRA people are familiar with that. It's got the peppermint and everything in that to kind of open up your airways. That's another great thing to do. I think that's kind of it on the essential oil front. But I didn't know if you had any other like general tips outside of like health, just for like making it stress-free, things that you're constantly telling your clients to make sure they kind of have on hand. that type thing.
Right. I mean, there's a few things. I think what I feel like I always notice the most where things become unseamless, not seamless, not seamless. I was like, what am I trying to say? It's like, whether you're booking your own travel or you're, having somebody do it for you, like everybody's got to be each other's eyes and ears. So, read through what it is. Don't assume. I think that's the number one thing I can say. Don't assume. Read through it. Make sure your passport, make sure your driver's license is valid. If it says it needs your name as your passport or your name as your license, look at it. Like, I can't tell you how many times in 13 years I've had people not know their own names, let's just say. Like, that's the best way to put it. You're like, I thought it said, well, it didn't. So here we are paying, $750 to change a ticket. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like, it's your name. The last time. But, it's just little things like that. Like, don't ever assume, just double check yourself. As far as, your passports go, taking a photo of it, emailing it, like in my world, people email them to me, then I have them if God forbid they're lost. If the U.S. Embassy in whatever location you're at can get a copy of it, they can replicate it in 24 hours.
Okay.
So really the key part, so either email it to yourself, email it to, to your advisor, whatever the case is, just make sure there's some copy of it out there. I feel like back in the day, everybody like photocopied it. You could by all means do that. I just feel like in this day and age, it's not as necessary. And I haven't been proven wrong yet. Somebody could totally be like, you're lying, but I haven't been wrong in saying that in a couple of years. So we're okay. The other thing is, if you are traveling internationally and coming back into the UK, you hear them knocking on the door.
Yeah. I thought it was you knocking on wood.
Real life, right?
Right.
But if you're traveling back to the U.S., download Mobile Passport. It's an app that is free. It essentially, I was like, we could put this in the notes maybe.
Yeah, passport.
Done by the U.S. I was like, I don't know who sanctions it, but it's the government. And basically you upload your passport to it, and you'll see if you're coming out through arrivals and you're coming from another destination, you'll see a sign that says Mobile Passport, and you'll see global entry and then regular. So you can go in the Mobile Passport, just speak through.
Real
what
life.
Do we have for children? What do we have for children? For calming mothers.
Right. We need the lavender.
I know. But it'll save you so much time. I do wholeheartedly think global entry, which is $100 for 5 years, is so worthwhile. If you travel even if you travel twice in 5 years internationally, you will not regret the money you spent to get global entry. Also, a side note, because people ask me this all the time, if you have global entry, it gets you TSA pre-check about 90% of the time. It is not a guarantee, but I can think of one instance in 5 years that I didn't get pre-check my global entry, my known traveler. Just an FYI, a lot of people are like, I'm getting TSA pre-check. If you only travel domestically, that makes sense. But if you're going to travel internationally at all.
Okay. Global entry. Okay. Awesome.
Only like $15.
I keep thinking about getting that. Just I have to travel globally for work sometimes.
And there's some credit. Don't give a credit for it. Like if you're somebody who's into credit card points and stuff like that. Like I think it's one of the Amex cards, and I'm gonna blank on the other one. But if you are at all into points and miles and doing that kind of stuff, the points guy is a wonderful resource for all of that. I'm not a great resource for that, but he has tons of money doing that and being an expert at the field. So
making a note of that. Oh, I've learned so much. Okay. One last question that I'll say I get frequently is travel with my essential oils or liquids. I think, was it the 3x3x3 bag or something like that? Maybe it's not.
So Quart size bag. I know what you're talking about, and I was like, I don't have it memorized, but I always know quart size bag.
I need to tell you something important.
She is so funny.
Oh my gosh. Caroline, I'll be out in a minute.
I'm ready to tell you.
Then wait right there quietly.
Wrapping up, Caroline.
Anyways, but yes, quart size bag, 3 ounces, whatever you can fit in there.
Whatever you can fit, yeah. I usually put mine. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, you just get 1 per person. So stuff your kids, stuff your spouse, whatever.
I usually stuff mine pretty high. And I have never had any issues with essential oils as long as I put them, I carry a lot of travel size, which I posted in the oil usage group for those of you in there. Just some ideas on how to pack yours in travel size, but I just kind of cram them all in there. I take as many sample size of my beauty products as possible, and I'm able to fit, I have beauty counters, sunscreen. I'm able to fit their sample size of that, 'cause that's pretty big. It still fits.
Yeah.
Anything else, yeah, and I'm like good to go. So I've never had any issues. Have you heard of anybody having issues with liquids? I've even taken them to Europe.
With yogurt than
Yogurt.
anything. I feel yeah, I have one of my good friends loves her Chobani yogurt, and sometimes it gets thrown away, sometimes it doesn't. So we just try it every time.
Yogurt.
So no,
thought of yogurt.
Because it's like a semi-liquid. I don't know, but no. And I've actually seen some of the healthy living bloggers I follow. I've seen some people's like overnight oats get pitched because they have like a liquid in them technically. So
okay.
Other than that, no, I was gonna say as long as you stuff in there. And I imagine too, like if you're carrying any in your checked bag, I would be like wrapping, making sure that it's all protected, that it's not out onto anything. From,
I tell you something?
Carolyn.
Can I stay here with you?
No.
Because they're going somewhere and I don't want to leave them all day.
She is so funny.
I promise I will.
Hey, I'll talk to you in a minute.
That's fine. Tell her we're almost done. I was to say, yeah. That's a good point about wrapping, especially essential oils. I'll put them like in a Ziploc bag inside my main bag just in case one of them leaks. I've never had that problem. They don't leak on some of the other stuff. That's a good point. But I kind of put them separately in a bag inside the big quart bag. So that's a good idea. Yeah.
Double wrap. I like double wrap. And make sure you have stuff to come home, like that it's not like whatever you're taking apart, you can put back together to come home. Because I feel like, you like unpack and suddenly you're like, oh, whatever, I'll just throw it in and like hope it's good.
Sounds like me. On the way home, it doesn't matter.
It'll be fine. It'll smell fine.
Right. I'll be able to rebuy it at home is what I think when I'm on my way home. I'm just like so ready to get there. I've had that mindset, especially with kids, but that's totally the mindset I want to have.
Right.
Okay. Well, these were great tips. Now, you gave me a great idea, which I'm going to do. I'm going to close out with a rapid fire question.
Ready.
5 questions. I'll let you get your question face on. Ready? Just prep. I'm kidding. Put your face. You can spend a lot of time on number 2, though, because I know that's one everybody wants to know well, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so first, what is your favorite essential oil so far?
My favorite essential oil so far is I'm like torn, clearly. I think the Citrus Bliss.
Mm-hmm. Love that one. It's so uplifting. Okay, what is your favorite vacation spot? And if you have more than one, that's okay, but I think I know which one it is.
I'm so proud that you know. That means I've done a good job of making sure everybody on Instagram knows. Hawaii is my favorite vacation spot.
And why?
So 7 times. And if you want specifics, I love the Big Island of Hawaii, and think that it's like a real hidden gem, and people don't give it as much credit as they should, and that's what makes it even more authentic. and it is more affordable than Maui. And there's still tons. It's great for families, couples, whatever your situation is. I can't think of a bad situation to be headed to the Big Island. So
I know. And I love that you take your girls with you. Like, you know, seeing it's before your profile, I would see people honeymooning there. And so it's nice to see, okay, so, you know, it relates to me. I have a family, you know, there's family friendly. There's things to do for little kids. So it was exciting. It kind of my, like, I could do Hawaii with a kid. Yeah.
It's great. I think it's a great intro to like a longer flight, and there's still of being in the U.S., but it's still a totally different flavor than what we get here domestically, especially on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's different, and everybody should go. I know people are always like, you know, it's 10 hours. I don't know. For me, it's worth it to me. Our girls do great, and they love it. So.
That's awesome. Okay, what's either your favorite TV show or what are you enjoying watching right now on your playlist? And either favorite drink or your go-to Starbucks order, or your pick.
Go-to Starbucks order is cold brew with extra cold foam.
I think my husband gets cold brew. He doesn't do the foam, but that's neat. And what is your favorite shop? It can be local.
Shop is
Mom Life
on Instagram. GRAYMOROE.
Graymore, is that it? Graymore.
Sorry, Gray Monroe.
Oh, Gray Monroe. Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Sure.
Okay.
She's cute as stuff.
Oh, I'll have to go check that out. Okay, so to close out, how do people find you that want to follow you? I know you've got a lot of Instagram people in the group, Facebook, website, that type stuff.
At Heather Christopher Travel is the best way to find me on Instagram.
Okay.
That's where I spend most of my time.
All right.
Thank you for having me. Great. Brianna, thank you for sticking with us and dealing with anybody who listens to your child. I'm sorry, we can't edit that out.
She's fine. She has kids about the same age too, so she work. I think she gets it.
Right, real life.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I should have done. Let's be real. My babysitter is here, but I guess I need to have a conversation.
Right. That's so funny. Well, thank you so much for sharing all your value. I will make sure to get some notes up about how people can find you, and I've learned a lot. I have found some new apps, so I'm excited to up my
I have a whole list.
Yeah.
I got notes. Notes. So thank you for being again. It was great, and I look forward to meeting everybody in your group and community and around. So thank you again.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.